Hey guys, so there are some new eyeshadow palettes at Target from Essence, and these are exclusive to Target. For some reason, the information on Target's website is messed up, so you may or may not find them on there. I went on there this morning and I found one, but then when I clicked on it, it sent me to a picture of another one, so I'm just going to show you which ones are available. I bought every one in the line. I'm going to show you what's available so you can see, because you won't be able to get that information on there. So these are a Target exclusive. You will not find these at Ulta, because Ulta also carries Essence, but not these. So there are 5 palettes in the line, and I'm going to talk about the formula and give you some tips. And all right, so let's get started. So the first one is All About Bronze. The name of these palettes are All About, and then there's like a color scheme for 4 out of 5 of them. So they all say like All About Bronze, All About Nudes, and so on and so forth. These are $5.49 plus tax, and you get 8 shadows in each palette. They are very shimmery, glittery palettes. So if you like mattes, these will not be for you. I'm just taking a quick peek to see if there are any matte shadows. I don't think there are. I don't think there are any matte shadows in any of these palettes. Just glancing through them all here. But I'm going to swatch them all, so we'll find out for sure when we do that. So All About Bronzes is the one that I have on my eyes today. And something you should know right off the bat with these is that the formula on these, I like this formula. I bought one palette and then went back and looked at other Targets trying to find all of them. And so I really enjoy this formula. By the way, I should mention that these are in a beautiful like lucite packaging. One of the palettes that I have must have gotten dropped by somebody at some point, because one of the shadows in one of these palettes is not glued into the pan. So don't be shocked if as I'm going along I get to one of the palettes and hold it up and one of the shadows falls out. I'm going to try to make sure that doesn't happen, because off the top of my head I don't remember which one it was. I intended to glue it back in the day that I used it, because I've had these now for probably a couple weeks and I've been using them. I don't think I've used every single palette yet, because I've been testing out other things as well. But yeah, so one of them, somebody must have dropped it at the store or something. All right, so anyways, back to the formula. The formula on these is not going to be for everybody. I love them, but when I describe to you what it's like, you may think, what? Try and explain this the best I can. These are very dry, and when I use them, I just barely touch my brush to the eyeshadow, because they are pressed very loosely in the pans and they are very dry and powdery. However, they blend really nice, and I find them to be very easy to work with. So they're pigmented, but they're not crazy pigmented, and they're not that dry pigmentation that you get with eyeshadows sometimes, where you can't blend them. You can blend these very easily. So yeah, you want to just barely touch your eyeshadow brush to the shadow and pick up very little product, because that's all you're going to need. Now when I finish doing my eyes with one of these palettes, what I have to do, because dry shadows on dry skin is not a good combination. So I take my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water before I put on my eyeliner and mascara, but after I apply the eyeshadows, and I just take one spray to each eye, and what that does is it takes the powder down a little bit, it merges the colors together, and it leaves me with a slightly different finish to the overall look. These are going to give you a very soft but shimmery look. I really, really love these palettes, you guys, but I understand that this is not something that everybody's going to want to do. Now, another option, if you don't have the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, if you want something that's more affordable, I understand that e.l.f. has a, it's not a primer spray, it's called e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set, I believe is the name of it. I do want to pick that up at some point and see how it compares to this, because I want to find an affordable option for everyone, because when I love this product, don't get me wrong, but when this is done, I really don't want to spend this much just for one product again. So I am going to pick up that e.l.f. spray at some point and see if I can use it for the same thing that I use this for, because this can be used as either a foundation primer, or you can use it like I just described to alter your eyeshadow look. So hopefully that would be a good suggestion. Another thing that you can use if you have it is MAC Fix Plus, but I don't make out good with spraying this on my eyes. It's irritating to me, but I've seen lots of people do that in tutorials where they'll just spray this all over their face or spray it on their eyes to take down any powderiness. It doesn't set your makeup, but anyway, that doesn't work for me because I have very sensitive eyes. So anyways, I just wanted to, explain exactly what these shadows are like, because you might not want to have to do that, and you might not have to. Me having dry skin might be why they act the way they do with me. And I know I'm making these sound bad by describing these this way, but this is how they are. They're powdery, but they're not super pigmented and they're not lacking in pigmentation, and you'll see that when I swatch them. But they are shimmery, but they blend easily. So, all right, so let's do some swatches. Did I tell you the price? They're $5.49 a piece plus tax, just in case I didn't throw that out there. All right, so I'm going to swatch the first row in the bronze palette, which is what I'm wearing. So that's what they look like, just swatched with my fingers and then swatched on my skin. So you can see they are very shimmery, and they have glitter in them, but the glitter doesn't translate from every single shadow. Like, look at the darkest color of the swatches as I tilt my hand. You can see the glitter sparkling. But the top three, I don't see that as much. So they're shimmery, glittery, they're pigmented, but not like wham in your face pigmented. Just the right amount of pigmentation so that they blend really, really nicely. All right, so that's the top row in the bronze palette. Now let's do the bottom row. So that's the bottom row. Really, really pretty. Yeah, I went crazy trying to find all these palettes because not every Target has an Essence display. So it was really tough to find, certain palettes at certain Targets and ones that hadn't been swatched or damaged, because unfortunately Essence does not seal their products. I talked about this in yesterday's video when I did the lipstick video. So yeah, and you can do the same thing. If all you find are ones that have been swatched and you really want these palettes, you can do the same thing with the eyeshadow palettes that I talked about with the lipsticks. Take some isopropyl alcohol on a cotton pad and then just like touch the pad to the shadows. But of course you can't use the same cotton swab on all of them because then you'll mix all the shadows together. But I think you understand what I'm saying. So you just want to, you know, do that to sanitize it if somebody has swatched it and that's the last one on the shelf or something like that. Okay, so this is the one that I have on. I was going to do a video, separate video on each palette, but I realized that if I did that, I would have to talk about the formula all over again in every single video, so that's just not practical. Okay, this is the nudes. So that's the top row of the nudes one. I don't know if I didn't swatch those first two very well or if it's the actual shadows. Let's see what happens if I try to redo those two swatches. Alright, so no, those two shadows in the top row just aren't that pigmented apparently. So I don't know if I've used this one yet or not. I tried to work with these palettes, but I've been testing so many different things lately that I don't honestly remember which ones now I've used and which ones I haven't. Alright, let's do the bottom row. This is the deepest shade in the bottom row. Oh my god, is that gorgeous or what? Okay, so it looks like this palette isn't really that pigmented compared to the bronze one. But I love that color. And I think what it is these three shadows here don't seem to have much glitter or shimmer in them, so that's probably why they're not swatching the same. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I think this is the one that's got a loose, it feels like the whole thing is not opening and closing correctly, so I think that's the one that got dropped. Somebody must have dropped that before I even bought it at the store. Alright, so the next palette is called Roses. And have you noticed how many companies have been doing rose themed palettes? Unbelievable. So this is Roses. And that's the top row. Really, really pretty. Okay, and let's swatch the bottom row. So those are the four shades on the bottom. I really like that third one down, that plumish color. It's like the texture is definitely not shimmery, but I wouldn't say it's matte either. So there's definitely more shimmer in some than others, but I really wouldn't say that any of these are matte. So that's really, really pretty. All right, so the next one is grays. And that's what that one looks like. Wow, looks like multicolored shimmer in that one in the corner there. All right, let's do the first top row. Wow, look at that black. And this silver one here has got some definite blue tone to it. Whereas this one is like a really, really light shimmery white. And then this one is more of a satiny white. All right, let's see how these swatch. Oh, this is so pretty. I love gray, silver, black, white. I love that combination. I don't wear it as often as I would like to because those kind of colors for some reason can be really, really hard to get a good formula on. And so now that I have this palette, maybe I'll wear that more often because I do really love the texture and finishes of these. All right, let's see what the bottom row looks like on this. Okay, so that's the bottom row. Really, really pretty. Yeah, if you like grays, I think you're going to love this palette. Gorgeous. Now the fifth palette is called Vintage, and it's the only palette in the bunch that has a variety of colors to it. So let's take a look at that. So in this palette, you get, yeah, a variety. I see a white and beige and like a beige that has a pinkish tone to it, and then a beige that has a yellowish tone. There's a brown. There's a couple of very different shades of brown. That one in the upper corner there. Boy, that's a complex color. I can't even really tell what that is. Is that a green, or is it a gray, or is it a gray with green shimmer in it? So we get a lot of very unique, unusual colors in here. So let's swatch it and see what that looks like. I don't know why they call this vintage, because this is definitely not vintage type colors to me. These are very, very unique and unusual colors and combinations of colors. So there's the top row. I guess they're calling it vintage because I just realized that these are all neutral type colors, so they probably didn't just want to call the palette neutrals. So they called it vintage. Really, really pretty. Can't wait to swatch the bottom one. I know I haven't used this palette yet, and I'm kind of surprised because these colors are gorgeous. All right, let's swatch that bottom row. I have a feeling that I'm really going to like these colors too. All right, so this is the bottom row. So that's like a bronzy, sort of a cool bronze color. Well, these colors are really light too, but then they do give you a couple of dark colors to work with them. So yeah, this is pretty unique color scheme. So there's that one. The top one I can't even see, which is that rose beige color. Didn't swatch at all. So not much pigmentation on that one, but I don't know. These other colors are so pretty, it's kind of worth it to me. Even if there's like 1 or 2 duds in a palette, I don't even care as long as the majority of them are gorgeous. All right, so those are, I should say, the Essence eyeshadow palettes from Target, Target exclusive, $5.49 plus tax a piece. I love these. I love them, and even though with my dry skin I have to put some type of spray over it, I don't even mind. That doesn't bother me in the least because the end result is really pretty. And like I said, I've got the bronze one on right now, but yeah, I really enjoy these, and for $5 and change, I think they're well worth it. The only thing I should mention is these might be limited edition. And the reason why I say that is if you go on Essence's website, it has these listed as limited edition. But Essence is a German brand, and they might be limited edition in the European countries, but they might be permanent at Target. There's really no way I can know for sure whether they are or not. It doesn't say limited edition anywhere on the packaging, but that doesn't really mean anything either. So I don't know how long these will be at Target. I don't know if they're permanent or if they're just there till they sell what they get. I'm not sure. But because they're in that permanent section, that makes me think that they are permanent. But just something to keep in mind. All right, you guys, so those are the new Essence eyeshadow palettes from Target. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.